right, I think we're just about ready to get started. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming to visit us tonight to hear about what's going on at Las Positas College. We are very happy to welcome Catherine Alfaro and Liz McWhorter from LPC to tell us a little bit about all of the different things going on at Las Positas. Thank you, ladies.
All right, thank you. So we've got some kind of Zoom etiquette tips for you. And so, yeah, if you've never participated in a Zoom meeting before or kind of the webinar format, your sound and picture will be off. And we could always turn that on during the Q&A session if anybody wants to say hello and ask a question live. Otherwise, you're welcome to drop questions into the Q&A. Please have the Kahoot app ready on your phone. We will be playing a little Kahoot game later on, and we've got a prize for that, so that's pretty exciting. We'd also love to hear who's joining us today. So if you want to type your school or city, we've got a poll that should pop up in a minute here, so you can type that in. And by the way, we're recording the presentation, but obviously you can only see our faces right now, so just letting you know. All right, so there's the poll. Take a moment and respond there. All right, so I see 67% are from Livermore, and the majority say they're from other high schools. Okay, well, great. It's so glad to have you all here tonight. Thanks again for joining us and letting us know who's in the room. Welcome. So we've got one more poll question for you here, and then we'll get to the Kahoot game later on. It's nice to have a little interaction, isn't it? So we've got a question for you guys. During the pandemic and shelter in place, what have you been binging on? What have you been watching? I, by the way, have been watching Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and the NBC app. Favorite current shows are Mandalorian, SNL, and I just started checking out Self-Made, which is a great show. Okay, so I see we're a 50-50 split, guys. Netflix and YouTube, for those that responded. Right on.
Yeah, I've been watching Netflix and Hulu too.
There's so much good stuff. What have you been checking out on Hulu? Have you seen Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
I hear that's one to check out.
Yeah. I've been watching The Mandalorian, at least on
Disney Plus.
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for sharing. So I do want to talk a little bit about top 10 reasons why students choose LPC. LPC is a top 10 transfer school in California, and we're really proud to say that. It is the best higher education value, and we have really small class sizes. As you can see, this is a picture of a Zoom class. I know Liz knows the specifics of this Zoom class, but it's fairly small. And the attention is very individualized, right? So a lot of the professors know the students' names. We have industry-aligned curriculum, outstanding faculty. A lot of our faculty actually teach at CSUs and UCs. And we have, again, classes for general education, transfer, CTE, or retraining. Another top reason is because we have state-of-the-art buildings and equipment. We have flexible class scheduling, student clubs, award-winning student publications, and debate teams. This is before, of course, we started working or going to school online. That's why not any of the students are using a mask, but this is our debate team, and they are doing amazing even online right now. So that's a little bit about LPC, and I know Liz is going to go over some more information.
Yes, so you've probably been wondering how we've been faring during COVID, right? So we've been doing pretty well. Catherine and I have been working at home, so have a lot of our colleagues, including faculty, staff, and administrators. And we've really been continuing to support our students and connect with prospective students and our educational partners. We have a lot of partnerships with local high schools and different consortia and industry partners, like for the CTE programs that I represent. So here's a glimpse at some of the things that we've been doing, how we've pivoted since earlier this year. So in the upper left-hand corner, that's the photo that Catherine had shared. That's an example of LPC music teleperforming all together. So they figured out how to all sync up at once and actually create something. Not, if you've ever participated in a Zoom meeting where you all try to like recite something together or sing together. I've heard like on my second graders class, for example, it sounds choppy, right? It's all over the place. So our faculty are so great. They've been figuring out how to get everybody in sync with one another and actually put together some music pieces and be able to perform together in a way that's well blended. So that's fantastic. For our teaching modalities, we've been using a number of different tools, including Zoom, like we're on right now, Canvas as well, that's the learning platform, and then Labster for some of those programs, especially that are CTE or career technical education and the science classes. You can do labs on your computer. We're also really excited that we're having our first virtual club fair coming up. So you can see club activities are carrying on during this time. We've got over 30 student clubs and many of them have remained active during this time. So that's really exciting. The Las Positas College Theater actually performed its first live stream play this past fall as well. It was Romeo and Juliet. And so the director, our lead faculty, Tishan Lish, had to get really creative. She not only abridged the play to an hour and a half, she also had to rewrite it to incorporate different camera angles and help, dress up everybody's living room or bedroom or wherever the actors happen to be. It was just like, a Zoom meeting, but it looked better blended. We used a different platform called On the Stage. So each performer was in their own space, literally, and the way it blended together, it looked as though it could have been a performance where folks were together. It was really neat to see. And so they were shipping things and going to the houses and having to measure and replace things in the background and get costumes to folks, in a socially responsible way. So that was very interesting. The play was very well received and we're so excited we got to do that. And it's great for our students too, because they got to learn how to act for the camera. Typically, they only know how to act for the stage. So this is something, one of those bright spots that comes out of COVID, right, is that the students added some new skills to their skill set. Additionally, you see we have some different e-services that we've just started this past year too. So Cranium Cafe, Catherine's just a whiz at that. I recently learned that she fully just implemented that earlier this year. And that's how she regularly meets with students to coach them on financial aid. So that is such a great tool. And some of our counselors use that as well to do telemeetings. And then Handshake, my colleague Ann Kennedy, who's also a CTE specialist like me, implemented Handshake. And that's a platform that powers our internship and job board. And we'll be looking forward to doing some virtual internship and job fairs later this year. So those are all really exciting things. Okay, so yes, we have lots of new offerings, CTE happenings, and financial aid tips for you. So although we've been sheltering in place this year, this fall we have had so many new things come out, it's amazing. So we've got 2 new non-credit business certificates and a partnership with the adult school on that and our ESL students in our community. So that's really fantastic. You can earn 2 non-credit business certificates in the span of a year. And we've also got a new actors conservatory. So the Romeo and Juliet production, the actors for that were largely from the Actors Conservatory. Tishan was really excited to launch that this year. We are the only one of its kind in Northern California. And Actors Conservatory is typically like a smaller private school offering, which could cost a lot more money than a community college, of course. So we were really excited to be able to bring that out this fall and also pivot and still make this first class a success. The first class is so great and so willing to pivot with whatever is going on. We also are excited to have a new film studies program led by Elizabeth Wingbrooks. She's fantastic. There could possibly be a virtual film festival on the horizon that might be in the springtime, so keep your ear to the ground. Also, a colleague of mine, Hortensia, wanted me to mention that there's a new Spanish AA for transfer and a Spanish certificate as well, brand new offerings this fall, so very exciting. In my realm, CTE, we've got spring offerings already starting to come out. Actually, if you live in the Tri-Valley area, you should have received the spring schedule in your mailbox. And so we've got industry-aligned, work-based, and hands-on programs that are considered career technical education. Mine are in the arts and humanities, auto tech, and welding. So I represent 8 different programs. If you have any questions about those later on, you could ask during Q&A, and Catherine and I will make sure to drop our contact info in the chat. We could always follow up after the session too. So the spring offerings we've had have been online, combo, and hybrid. These are all different terms and different modalities, right? So some are totally virtual, some are a combo, and so that means partly online and partly in person. So for my auto tech and welding programs, for example, it's really hard to do welding or auto tech if you're all virtual, right? So what they've done is scaled down the size of their labs. So the lab sizes have been cut in half essentially, so that those students are able to go and do those things in person. And then hybrid is if you're doing all online, but you've got a combination of synchronous and asynchronous modalities. So synchronous is like we're having right now. We're here together in real time. And then asynchronous is if somebody were to watch this recording at a later date. So that brings us finally to our financial aid deadlines here. Nothing has changed on the financial aid deadline horizon, thankfully. There is still opportunity to apply for the FAFSA or for the California Dream if you are a dreamer and a documented student. And so March 2nd is the deadline for that. That's the recommended deadline. You could apply after that, but that is the time. If you picture like a big stack of money and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, after that March 2nd. So that's your best kind of aim there. And additionally, if you live in Livermore, the Pedrosi Foundation offers some great scholarship aid. So there is the deadlines for that. And then I've got a couple logos and the listing over here for the music classes that are coming out in the springtime. So you can see we have quite a few offerings. All right. Time to win a prize.
Yes, thank you for all of that. So now is trivia time. You want to make this as fun as possible, right? So top winner, number 1 winner will receive an insulated stainless steel water bottle with the LPC logo. So what I want you to do right now is take out your phones and then go on www.kahoot.it. I'm going to stop sharing real quick, or I'm going to share a new screen. I've turned off the music just for this Kahoot. I hope that's okay. So I hope that you're on Kahoot. You see the pin here. It's 953-2382. Maybe if we can drop that in the chat. And again, you'll win a really, really nice water bottle. It's black with a really nice red LPC logo. And if Ellen and others want to join too, that's totally fine. The bottle is up for grabs.
And let us know if anyone's not familiar with Kahoot. If you need any technical support, we're here for you.
So I see 5 people in the presentation and 1 person, Kind Owl, has joined.
How kind of you, Kind Owl. We need a couple more players, guys.
We have Winged Hen. I'm not sure what that means, but we'll go with space.
The names are so silly and clever.
Okay, so we need at least 2 more. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Lucky Snail. Okay. We have 4 people. 5, Tropical Frog. Okay, I'm going to start. So it's called Financial Aid 101. Pretty simple questions, trust me. Okay, so it says a college education is one of the best blank a students can make for their future. Is it a mistake, a party, an investment, or a friend? We have three answers. Okay, so it's a great investment. Yes, it gives you the opportunity to learn about different ideas, to learn about different programs, different majors. It expands your horizon and it gives you the opportunity to choose what route you want to take in the future and to choose your job, basically. Lucky Snail is taking the lead. Okay, true or false? College classes and books are free. Okay, so yes, it is false. Most of the time, books are not free in college, but if you submit the FAFSA or the California Dream Act application, you could potentially receive, free classes and free books.
And by the way, in the pre-COVID times, we had a textbook loaner program that our student government helped make possible. So know that someday when we go back to all in person, there will be free resources, and our library does have a lot of great resources. Our Livermore Public Library, of course, and also Las Positas College Library.
Yes, I'm a fan of libraries, so yes. I see that Winged Hen is coming up and Lucky Snail is still taking the lead. Okay, question number 3. What does the F in FAFSA stand for? Is it fun, fair, free, or favorite? As you can see, I love this area. This is my area, so this is fun for me. Okay, so I see that people chose fair and free. So the F in FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. We place that emphasis on the free because you shouldn't have to pay to submit the FAFSA application. And we'll talk about the FAFSA application in a little bit.
Yeah, beware of anyone that tries to charge you, any websites that are trying to charge you to complete the FAFSA. That's not the right website.
Now, Kind Owl is actually taking the lead now. All right. So when should students and families start making a plan to pay for college? Is it 11th grade, as soon as possible, 12th grade, or who needs a plan? Okay, yes, as soon as possible. So you all know the importance of saving for college. Every penny counts, and the sooner that you start saving for it, the more that you'll have in the end to pay for classes, to pay for books. Okay, Kind Owl in the lead, and Winged Hen went up. All right. 5th question, what can you use financial aid for? Is it tuition and fees, rent and transportation, a laptop, or all of the above? Okay, so I see 3 people chose tuition and fees, and then 2 people chose all of the above. So it is going to be all of the above. When I was in college, I submitted the FAFSA and I used my financial aid to pay for tuition and fees, rent and transportation, and I bought a laptop too. So all of the above. Lucky Snail. Okay. Next. Last question. When should you submit your financial aid application? 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, or 12th grade? I guess it could be when should students submit their financial aid application? All right, everyone chose 12th grade. Yes, that's when students should submit their financial aid application. And actually, I would say that every year after high school, every year that you're in college, you should submit that application if you're trying to go for your associate degree, your bachelor's degree, your master's degree. So submit that application every single year. All right, let's see who won. So Winged Hen for third place. Second place was Lucky Snail. And first place goes to Kind Owl.
Woo! Kind Owl, congrats.
Yay. Okay, so whoever is Kind Owl, please feel free to send us an anonymous Q&A and let us know your name, and then we'll find a way to get you that bottle. We'll share your email, or you can email us. We'll find a way to contact you. So
I was going to say, even if you could do a screenshot of your winning, you know, if there's some way to show too on your screen that you're Kind Owl.
And if you can get the bottle to us at the library, we do have a curbside
Sure.
pickup format.
That's a great idea.
That you can do for, and we can get it to the winner as well.
yes, okay, perfect. So we will do that. Thank you so much for participating. That was pretty fun. All right, so moving on to Explore, Liz.
All right, so we created some actionable areas for you guys. What we've talked about so far is a little more, this is like what we've been doing, this is what we offer, but we're gonna give you a lot of what you could do, divided into 4 actionable areas: explore, learn, be entertained, and do. So starting with Explore, we've got community ed classes actually that are still forming in November. Those are just about $42 to take one. For example, one of my programs is interior design, and I know they're offering a kitchen remodeling and bath remodeling community ed class right now. So that's a way to kind of just dabble, you know, if you're a hobbyist or you're kind of interested in an area and you just want to check it out to see if it's of interest at all. They're typically taught by our faculty, so you'll get a taste of what their class would be like. Program spotlights are coming up. These are for my programs in particular. So photography, and then graphic design and digital media. Those will be on the 16th and 19th of November. And so those are a chance to see me again. I MC those events, and then I'll have faculty speak about their program, and we'll have them tour their space. So their photo lab, for example, and do a little virtual walking tour. And then there will be a student panel and a Q&A. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity to hear all about the programs and also hear from the faculty and students in real time. LPC Arts will be at Virtual Verse and Vine. The dates are to be announced for that. I'm working on some partnerships like with the Livermore Poet Laureate. I also serve on the Commission for the Arts, so I'm pretty in tune with that. So also I'm working on partnerships with a couple transportation industry folks. If you've got any interest in that realm at all, we'll be having a couple of folks representing Speedway and City Fleet Services speaking in November and December for a transportation program. And then Catherine and I will be on an event together next week already. This is for Year to Career. This is really exciting that we're rolling this out right now. These are the programs that you can complete in 1 year. So that's the Year to Career. So it'll be on the 10th. We'll have like our plenary session and some breakout rooms, you know, based on industry. So I'll be representing professional services, which includes commercial music. And then on the 12th, Catherine and a colleague from Chabot College will be talking about financial aid. This is a joint event with our sister college, Chabot. And then you'll hear about some of our district resources too, like we've got an OSHA training center, and it used to be called Tri-Valley One Stop, and now it's Tri-Valley Career Center. So those are resources for working professionals, folks just about to get into the workforce, career changers, a lot of great free resources. And then the market, this is a pop-up food pantry that we offer, and we're offering it in a drive-through way currently. We had the pop-up market before the pandemic, and then we gradually, it just disappeared for 1 month, I want to say. And then we came back, and now it's a drive-through kind of way, and they'll hand you a bag of groceries. And we're always looking for volunteers to help out with that too, if you ever want to have a volunteer opportunity. So you can see the dates for the next 3 markets on there. We would love to see you at any of those things. And if you have any questions, we'll give you our contact info at the end. You can ask more. All right.
All right, so opportunities to learn. So on November 9th, we'll have a COVID-19 research and response activities at the Lawrence Livermore National Labs. It will be presented by Dr. David Rakestraw. And this is an amazing event. I know we have about 60 people who have registered already, so that's pretty exciting. And then we have Smart Shop workshops happening every semester. These are workshops that you can attend. We go over financial wellness, we go over how to write an essay and more. So I invite you to our Smart Shop workshops offered by faculty. I lead some workshops as well, and so do my colleagues. Apart from being a financial aid outreach specialist, I'm a Dreamer Resource Liaison. Basically, I work with the undocumented community and talk about resources that we have at Las Positas College. So I offer Dreamer Resources workshops. Anybody is welcome. And I go over in-state tuition, funding, the students' education if they're undocumented, just legal information as well, legal resources, mental health resources, things like that. So we invite you to our workshops.
Be entertained. All right. We've got a lot of entertainment going on right now. I'm excited to see the arts starting to come alive again, and I'm helping with that. 6 of my 8 programs are arts, so yay, arts. So there's an artist lecture series that is being produced by the photography program. So there's like 8 different artist lectures that are coming up. So that should be posted on our website pretty soon here. There's a big focus on female artists actually for this. I think there's just 1 male on there. But you get to hear from artists in a variety of media there from different backgrounds, different places. So look out for that. I also developed a new partnership with Cruder Ridge Winery. We're doing a holiday in the Vineyards event with LPC Arts. And so we will have student work on display November, December, and January. It'll be a variety of different media, from photography to paintings and some graphic design, digital media work. And those will be hanging in the tasting room at Cruder Ridge. And we'll have a reception we're working on the date right now, but I think it'll be early to mid December. And so there will be more information about that on the website and probably on our social media as well. And there will be musicians playing at that one, some of our alumni musicians. And then I'm going to be part of a drive-through Santa experience in Dublin, my first. I'm really excited. That'll be December 5th. So Las Positas will have kind of a space at that, like a booth space, and you do the drive-through thing and say hello to each, like trick or treat. I'll have candy canes. I'll be wearing an elf hat, and I should have some theater students with me to entertain you. So I'm really excited about that one. Our LPC music alumni always tend to play at Swirl during brunches in Livermore on Sundays. So the next one coming up is the 6th at 2 to 5. So check that out if you can. Socially distant, of course. And then the Express is our award-winning newspaper, and they've got e-news issues that come out weekly. You can sign up for that on our website. All right.
All right. So what can you do at Las Positas? So we have the virtual 2.2 for 22 remote run challenge that's been happening since October 21st. And it will end on November 11th. So what is the 2.2 for 22 challenge? It is a challenge to support vets and to bring awareness about the 22 vets that do commit suicide every day. So we want to bring awareness to that. And our Veterans Resource Center is hosting this event. You can still sign up and be part of the challenge. You can donate. So we invite you to that. And we have a Veterans Day virtual event on November 11th as well. We will honor veterans that are serving our country on that day. Please join us. And you can find more. We can give you more information if you're interested, and you can find more information online. And then we have
win prizes at that too. They're giving away 15 books.
Great point. Thank you. They have really amazing prizes. So we have a Fast Pass virtual event happening on November 16th through the 18th. Basically, it's an enrollment event. If you're interested in attending LPC, or you have family members who are interested in attending LPC in the spring semester, we can help you throughout the application process, the financial aid process, and the 6 steps to success. That's what we call them. So I invite you all, if you are interested in attending, if you want to chat with someone as well. So please join us for these events if you're interested.
And then finally, I wanted to mention that since earlier this year, we really have been receiving a lot of accolades. We're very proud of all these. One of the most recent was that we were named Wallet Hub Best Community College number 14. And so, yeah, we are very proud of that. And our students wrote an article about that in the Express, and then won some awards for the Express. You can see in the lower right-hand corner there, the ACP Fall Peacemaker Awards, Individual Awards, and Best of Show. They had turned it into a virtual conference. It was Associated College Press Virtual Awards. So we were proud to have 5 LPC student finalists, and our publications win awards again and again, the Express, and then we've got a student magazine, and then an anthology called Havoc, and they're just excellent, and we have such excellent faculty behind us too. And speaking of veterans, one of our esteemed veteran students won an award that's a very high honor this past spring. It was the Quilt of Valor, and it was such an emotional event. It was actually right before we all went into hiding, so we got to see him receive that in person, and just tears flowing everywhere. Just such a nice event. We have a really great veterans program. If you guys actually know any veterans too that are trying to figure out what they want to do right now, or want to continue their education, veterans program is just phenomenal. We support our veterans very well. And then finally, in the lower left-hand corner, our forensics debate team that Catherine mentioned earlier, the Talk Hawks, just were number 1 in the synchronous and asynchronous national debates. So even though everything is virtual now, there are still things happening like debates. So we are pivoting in all these different ways, as we mentioned, like with theater and music too, and the 2.2 for 22 event we mentioned earlier. That's normally a race and a challenge that happens in person. So our whole community has been doing a really great job at pivoting, and we're trying to continue offering you all the great opportunities that we normally would, either as a learner or as a community member who's interested in attending a guest talk or participating in some other way. So we can't wait to hear if you guys have any questions, or to see you guys sometime in the near future. Thanks for your attention. So we'll open up to questions now. If anyone wants to type in the Q&A, you can do that, or you could unmute yourself. We could unmute you. You would raise your hand, and then we would unmute you. So if you see that raise hand icon. Oh, yes, and then Catherine is going to drop our contact information in the chat so everyone can have that.
It says, when should students register?
Good question. So what is the optimal time to register, Catherine?
Sorry, I don't know if you could hear. Do I sound weird or no?
No, I think you sound fine.
Okay. So you should register for the spring semester in November, right? So right now it would be, if you register for classes between the 10th or the 23rd, it depends on the date assigned to you. So if you're thinking of registering for the spring semester, you should have already applied, and you would have a designated date. That's between the 10th or the 23rd of November. If you're thinking of attending in the fall semester, then you would apply. You could apply now because our application is open, and you can register around April.
And then, yeah, Catherine mentioned that FastPass event, so that's super helpful. Our colleague, Mike Alvarez, usually said that, I coined this after Disneyland's FastPass. It's a way to kind of jump ahead of the line. If you complete like some of those 6 steps to success, the 3 core services in there, you get actually access to earlier registration. So, some of those GE classes that tend to fill up quicker, you would have priority registration. And there will be a FastPass event for the next term also, and that'll be like Earth Day week, April 20 something. Other questions from folks? Our librarians can ask questions too if we sparked anything.
Yeah, and now that we are talking about FastPass, so if you know students, or if you yourself are a senior and you want to attend LPC in the fall, we will also have FastPass in the spring semester. So we help our students throughout the registration process.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So like April 20 something, like
around
that.
there. Yes.
Earth Week is the typical. We tend to do November and April each year. And that is such a great way. You get to do an abbreviated ed plan with a counselor, and it just makes things go that much quicker. And everything is virtual now, and you can just get it done pretty quickly. Any other questions? Anything? Financial aid? Any other events? Anything else?
I don't see any other questions coming in, but this
Okay.
information has been so helpful, and I know I will be excited to share it with our patrons when I have the chance to interact with them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Well, yeah, with that, we can wrap it up, and I hope you folks saw our contact information in the chat there. Do feel free to reach out to Catherine with financial aid questions, or to me with TE, Arts and Humanities, Auto Tech, and Welding questions.
Thanks so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and please do forward any questions to myself or directly to Catherine and Liz. Have a great night.
Have a good night. Thank you.